This Alacrity healing Evoker build for group play in Guild Wars 2 PvE is amazing. It's very fun, it is very powerful in healing output, has very good boon output. It might not be as broken as other healers, but it is very fun and very worthwhile using. So if you're an Evoker enjoyer and want to have a familiar with you while also providing nice support to your party members, then this build is for you. I'm Summer and I will explain everything that it is to know about this build. As always, special shout out to all my dear supporters that help me keep the lights on. Now without much further ado, let's jump straight in. The gear is, again, it's a healer build and you can run exactly the same setup that you're using, for example, for your healing Tempest. That's also working. I would go and would recommend getting full Magi's gear, full Giver's gear, full Minstrel gear, or a mix of those. The only important stat that you want to have are, first of all, healing power as high as possible and reaching 100% boon duration with food. This is the important part. Of course, get as much toughness and vitality as you want, as you need. If you want to be the tank, get higher toughness. If you don't want to be tank, get no toughness or very little toughness. I recommend some kind of Harrier Giver's mix or Minstrel, whatever you like. If you want to have exactly my setup, link to it is in the description down below, as well as an exotic version, of course, as well. For infusions, if you can afford them, you would go with healing power infusions, just a little bit more healing, but of course not necessary. For the rune, I would recommend Superior Rune of the Monk. If you cannot get it, Superior Rune of the Water is completely fine as well. But Monk is just a little bit better suited for this because you already have like a lot of boon duration. If you use Rune of the Water, I would recommend running Superior Sigil of Transference with Superior Sigil of Paralyzation to get some more CC. If you don't, as I do, Superior Rune of the Monk, I would recommend going for Concentration Sigil and Transference Sigil. Or if you don't need the boon duration or don't have another way to get it, then you would probably go for Paralyzation nonetheless. Transference is always a must. I would recommend Staff, but you could, if you really wanted to go, also go for Dagger Warhorn is also okay, but I think it's way better to go for Staff. For your Relic, I would recommend always, not a different alternative, this is the only one that you can go for, Relic of Altruism. Why is that? Because it permanently upkeeps Fury, just baseline, and it grants you permanent 8 might for your allies as well. And your healing skill is very important to keep that up. You spam it off cooldown and you have otherwise a little bit of a struggle with the boons. So that's why it's important to have this all the time. Let's talk about the consumables now. So for consumables, you want to go with bowls of fruit salad with mint garnish if you have the ascended food. Then would give you a lot of concentration, healing power, and outgoing healing modifiers, really good. But if you cannot get it, you would go with delicious rice balls. Very cheap, almost the same value, just a little bit less concentration. And for utility consumables, you would always go with Bountiful Maintenance Oils, by far the best option. Quite pricey, but really, really good in output of healing. Before I go to the trades, I want to mention, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. But now let's talk about the trades. The trades are where everything comes together. You are playing Water, Arcane, and Evoker. Water, of course, for nice healing, passive healing when you are tuned to Water. You get some nice healing ripple when you are tuned to Water. This has a 5-second internal cooldown, so you cannot proc it all the time. We will see why this is important in a bit, but just some nice healing when you attune to Water, and you get more healing to others, and your water weapon skills get reduced recharge, really important. When you dodge, remove some burning and chill on a 10-second cooldown. You get some Conde Cleanse when you attune to Water, and you get more vitality, and you get 100% increased effectiveness of your passive heal of Soothing Mist. This is a lot. That means over 400 healing, almost 500 with the outgoing healing modifiers and stuff like that, to your allies passively. That's on top of Regen, on top of your active heals. Really, really underestimated healing. That's really good. Then Arcane is your boon trade line. You get some nice boons. You get Might, Regen, Swiftness, Protection to your allies when you swap attunements. This is really important, especially the protection. So that you always have to rotate through attunements to get the protection out to your allies. Then you get some more concentration and your elemental recharge weapon swap is reduced. You get some passive health. It does not really matter too much because it's only for you. Then you get some nice resurrection on your Geyser. So your Geyser, so your 3 skill in Water, revives allies. It's a very potent heal. And when you start reviving someone, you also get a Geyser out and get a aura. So it's really, really good. This for a healer that wants to revive allies. Really, really potent. And it's 1200 range, so you have a very long range passive revive. And then you have Evasive Arcana, which is the most important one in Earth for the blast finisher, and in Water for healing. All the others not that important, but the Water is very potent heal and also cleanses the condition. Only works in combat though. Evoker gives you access to your familiar. You select the Water Otter, and this will give you some nice healing and some regen, and that's about it. And the important part is that you will also reduce the recharge of your water attunement when swapping to the minimum. Yeah, normally it would go on a 8-second cooldown, but with the water familiar you can swap every second into water, which is really, really good because that will proc, for example, your cleansing wave and your healing ripple with a 5-second internal cooldown, but still. Then you will get access to some nice improved regeneration healing, that's really good, and you get more healing outgoing modifier, that's good as well. Then you take, of course, altruistic aspect, because that means all your meditation, you take a lot of them, typically, gives some extra boons. Ages on the heal, more might on the fox, more regen on the water otter, stability on the earth toad, and resistance on the elite skill. Really, really good. Then you take Familiar's Blessing, of course, that's a must, otherwise you cannot be an Alacrity healer. You get Alacrity when you use a familiar skill for you and your allies, really long lasting, really easy to upkeep. And then you take Elemental Balance, which is a weird thing. It's not always that you play around that, but it can be good. Every second time you enter your selected attunement, which is water, the next elementalist weapon skill you use will recharge faster. It will be recharged by 66%, so you can almost use that instantly, almost. Yeah. Again, the important part here is that you typically want to use that on like very high impact, long cooldown skills. So that should be like, for example, Healing Rain or something like that. So always try to take advantage of that, but don't like adjust your rotation like crazy to that, because it's more about healing your allies and keeping up than following your strict rotation. Now let's cover the skills for a second. Of course, let's start with the water skills because they're very important. The auto take heals nicely. The 2 skill is a nice blast finisher, which you can use to blast water fields that you have with the 3 and the 5 skill. 3 I already mentioned, really nice heal and some revive. The 4 skill is some ice field and also nice frost aura for your allies. And the 5 skill is some nice healing rain, which cleanses conditions, heals them when you cleansed the conditions, and some very strong regen for your allies. Really, really good. Then in fire, you typically only want to use your lava font to get some might blasting going on with the fire field. And you can use the burning retreat to reposition because it's also an evade and a nice repositioning tool. Other than that, you wouldn't use anything. Maybe the blind of the 3 skill, but that's about it. In air, you also have a blind on the 2 skill. You have a knockback on the 3 skill for CC and some repositioning of the enemies. You have windborne speed for keeping up swiftness and some super speed. Also cleanses, cripple, immobilize, and chill. Really good. And you have some CC with the static field, but it's not that good in PvE. Then in Earth, you have some nice magnetic aura, which reflects projectiles. It's only for you, but if you transmute it, you will also give stability. That is quite potent. Then you have Eruption, which gives some nice blast finisher again after delay, and you have some CC on the 4 and the 5 skill. So typically the water attunement is by far the best option, especially because it will also charge your familiar skill more active. So if you use your water skill, any water skill that is not the auto attack, it will charge your familiar skill by 2, the basic skill. And after 3 times using the basic familiar skill, you will get the empowered familiar skill, which is even more potent and even more heals and stuff like that. So really, really nice. For utility skills, like I said, Rejuvenate for the heal is good. It's only for yourself, but it grants the boons to allies and also H's for allies. So you see really good boons for the allies. That's why you have to use that, especially in the opener. And then Fox's Fury you always have to use to get out some really nice might. If you combo your healing skill with your Fox's Fury, you're already at 19 might that you can permanently upkeep. It's really, really good. So keep that in mind. And then you have your Todd's Fortitude, which gives some nice stability to your allies and some protection. Use that when necessary. Be aware, this has a cast time of half a second, so you cannot like react instantly to an attack. So you have to know there will be an attack incoming. And then lastly, you have Otter's Compassion, which is some nice stun break for you because it's you're attuned to water. Gives some Condi Cleanse, gives some healing modifier to allies, and also some regen, vigor, and resolution. It's really, really good. Those would be the general skills, but you can swap around. You can go for Ice Bow for some more CC. You can even go for like a half revive, some cleanse, some healing, and stuff like that on a long range for Signet of Water. You can also go, for example, for more CC and a blast finisher with Arcane Wave. You can go for, if you really wanted to, Arcane Echo to like double up on Healing Rain. And of course, Glyph of Renewal, Long Range Revive, even in Earth, multiple people, in Water, revive them to full. So there are many options that you can go for. Lightning Flash to reposition, stability for yourself if you really want to do and deal with a mechanic or something. Arm of Earth can help there. So switch around what you need. The only thing that I would always keep is Fox's Fury. The other 2 you can swap. And then you have Elemental Procession. This is a very important one because it gives some nice burst heal, some nice CC, and it grants resistance. So it's really potent already. But you can also swap that, for example, if you need a lot of CC to Tornado, or if you need a burst heal, you can swap to Glyph of Elementals and used it in water, because then you have a very, very strong burst heal, as you can see here, like 10k or something with outgoing healing modifiers, and it cleanses a condition, and it's a Defiance break bar, so it's really, really good. So this is the most like straightforward burst heal, but I really like to go for Elemental Procession because typically you have a lot of healing already, and Elemental Procession provides resistance, which is a boon that normally don't have access to, so switching around to what you need is the go-to option. Let's talk about the rotation now. Let's start with the opener. For the opener, start in Water Attunement and use your Rejuvenate and Splash to get some boons out. And then don't forget, your Rejuvenate also gives your Familiar 1 charge. That's quite good. And then you can swap to Earth Attunement, use Fox's Fury to get some might up, use Eruption, swap to Fire Attunement to put down a Lava Font, and that will give a Blast Finisher if you placed it on the same spot. Swapping to Water, use Ice Spikes so that you have another Blast Finisher in the Fire field to get even more might. And then you swap to Air and put down Windborne Speed so you get some nice swiftness to allies, and then you are, so to say, done with the opener. You have all the boons up and you can then adjust to what is necessary. So typically you would then swap into Water and use Chill Around and give some healing with that, maybe dodge, and use your familiar skills to give some nice Alacrity. Always try to use Fox's Fury and Splash off cooldown because they are upkeeping the boons. And of course, if you need, you swap to other attunements. Typically the rotation, the loop would be something like being in water most of the time, and then swap to air to use Windborne Speed. Then use swap to Earth to get some protection up, use Eruption, swap to Fire, Lava Font into Water, and Ice Spike. It's always the combo of those 3 skills that are always in the 2 spots, so Earth into Fire into Water to get some nice Might Blast. And then you stay in Water, and this is the whole, so to say, loop. Very, very straightforward. And use your utility skills if necessary, use your water skills if necessary, keep them if you know there will be some big Connie application happening for a while, use the Healing Rain then. So that's how you play it. Very, very straightforward. And just remember to use your Fox's Fury and the Splash off cooldown, and of course also the Empowered Splash as well. That's how you play this build. It's very fun to play. It might not be the absolute best healer, but it's definitely worthwhile playing. It's definitely, I would say, a high tier healing build. If you enjoy this build as much as I do, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this and not only guides but also tier lists, be sure to subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.